Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Friday, and as promised, we are reading the last chapter of Memoirs of a Birth Mother, written by me. Um, if you're just tuning in, each week I've been reading a chapter of this book that I wrote. It's on Amazon as a book form and ebook. It's on Barnes & Noble as an ebook only. I will post the links below. But it is actually quite a large chapter. So let's get into it. I'm going to read you guys the final chapter, chapter 14 of Memoirs of a Birth Mother. Chapter 14. Two things happened this year that is just remarkable to me. Conveniently, while I was writing this, the final chapter. Fate is a fickle thing. It is amazing when the universe lines up just right and you just know it's a sign of epic proportion. I was struggling with this chapter as I had not yet had any closure of the past. But then the most curious thing happened. First, I was contacted by my daughter's father after 21 years of silence. This is where I originally ended the chapter with our not-so-welcome reunion. I didn't want the chapter to end there, but I felt it had come full circle. Then once again, fate stepped in. And just a few short months later, I got the opportunity to see my daughter for the very first time since she was 18 months old. Talk about a happy ending. And so I had to include our wonderful reunion as the ending to this final chapter. After all, without her, there would be no book. So here it is, the final chapter. I hope you enjoyed reading it as much as I enjoyed writing it. The final chapter has now come full circle. The saga of giving my child up for adoption and going through all the pain and suffering I went through has finally boomeranged back around to me. After 21 years, my demons are laid to rest. My choices vindicated. My soul free from its gilded cage. It is a funny thing not having that weight on my shoulders anymore, and in all honesty, I don't know what to do with myself. However, I feel a sense of freedom and peace I haven't felt in years, if ever. It was as if my heart, my soul, my mind was waiting for this moment. The moment I secretly hoped would never come, but once it was here, everything else faded away. The hurt, the pain, the hate, the anger. It is simply gone. After 21 years, a lifetime if you will, I was contacted by my daughter's father on Mother's Day, no less. Coincidence? I think not. That was, of course, on a Sunday, and throughout the rest of the week, I was a zombie. I felt as if I had been hit by a Mack truck. That week, I went through every single emotion you could possibly go through, save for one, love. As the love I thought I once had for this man died out 21 years ago. In the end, though, I needed this confrontation. I needed to expel this particular demon that has haunted me for so long, once and for all. The drama of a past I tried so hard to leave in the past surfaced like a bloated body floating to the top of the water. This confrontation also helped me realize the one thing that has plagued me all these years. It helped me realize I did do the right thing for my child. I gave my daughter a life I, nor her father, could have given her. It became clear to me in our brief conversation that he still doesn't have the tenacity for follow-through and be the man, nay, the father, she needs him to be. Even after all this time, he remains the same person he was all those years ago. Which saddens me, but I am coming to realize that that is not my problem anymore. This man that came to me in my dreams, a nightmare all wrapped up in another nightmare, he would wait until I was asleep before he invaded my innermost thoughts. Not that often, but just enough so that I would remember the hold he still held over me. This time was different, though. As I walked barefoot in the shadowy darkness between what was real and what was a dream, I found him there, lurking, watching, waiting, to pounce like a rabid dog. My breath caught as I once again came to face with this demon of mine. He reached out to me with his come hither smile and calloused fingers and I shuddered at the thought of his touch on my skin. His eyes began to glow an eerie red, and as his fingers clasped around my wrist, my skin began to burn from the acidity of his touch. That is when I awakened, silently screaming and gulping in lungfuls of air. As I realized in that moment, I'd been holding my breath in my sleep. I know this nightmare has been brought on by the recent events, and I can't help but wonder, is my demon having nightmares too? I am angered at the sobering realization that until now this man had had this unusual hold over me, and yet I smile at the thought that maybe, just maybe, he's being tortured by his very own demons as well. Ones that refuse to expel themselves, ones that refuse to loosen their hold on him and free him of a torture of his own making. Ones that will carry with him always. This was the week my worst fears came to life. A man I thought was out of the picture forever suddenly returns after 21 years. My only fear is his rejecting his child once again and possibly hurting her in ways that cannot be fixed. What did he hope to accomplish? I still have no idea because it has become clear to me in the days since that it was never about his daughter. She was simply the end he needed to get my attention. Sick, right? It seems all he wanted to do was mess with my carefully cultivated life that I had established without him. That is unacceptable. He had hired a service to find me, and the entire time I was thinking that all he wanted was to get to know his daughter. He was thinking, well, honestly, I don't know what he was thinking. He seemed to be angry that I had moved on. He seemed mad that it had only taken me 2 years to find someone new. What? Did he not think in the 21 years since our relationship ended so dramatically that I would still be pining for him? Confusion set in as he supposedly didn't remember rejecting his child or abusing me in any way, shape, or form. What? It is said that sometimes traumatic events can be blocked out, the mind only strong enough to remember certain things, and block out more horrific things, and it got me wondering, does this also apply to those that have committed these horrific acts as well? If so, does this mean they really have a conscience? Are they really not the monsters I deem them to be, or are they just people that have to come to grips with the fact that they committed these heinous acts? How is it that I can remember every detail of a wrong done to me? Every word that was uttered, every curse, every slap, every bruise to my ego? Is it that I'm just stronger than they are? Why can't I be the one that forgets all the pain, the suffering, the hurts? If only for a little while. Maybe I am too strong to forget, or maybe I'm supposed to be the one that remembers so that I can never act as they do. Or maybe it is like I am the lone survivor of a great, horrible act. I'm supposed to remember as a cautionary tale to tell others what I've been through, to let them know they are not alone. It is unthinkable that the two people in my life that changed me forever, changed the very fabric of who and what I am, have no memory of the pain they caused me. This is what gets to me the most, is that someone can abuse you to the point of damn near killing you on several occasions, or watching and laughing as your mind slowly slips away and you become someone else and they don't remember it. How is this possible? Or is this some kind of sick game he thinks he is still playing with me after all these years? My ex found me on Facebook, and instead of using his real name, he used a very famous, very dead author. Isn't that illegal on Facebook? I thought it was. When he contacted me, it was all about strolling down memory lane, catching up as if we were like old pals instead of what we were. Nothing. The events of the past few weeks have been rolling around in my head. I can't stop chanting 21 years. For the most part, I feel like I've been in a dream, a nightmare, if you will, or even shell-shocked in a way. After 21 years, this person had the audacity to come back into my life only to fuck with me. I still don't get what he got out of this. He had to know on some level this reunion would not be filled with butterflies and rainbows, right? I'm done worrying that my worst fear will come to light because it happened, and I'm proud to say I survived it. How many of us really get to face our past demons head on? How many of us get to say exactly what we need to said demons and come out of it anew? I feel as though a 50-pound weight has been removed, a weight I still didn't know existed until this week, or that week. A weight that haunted me in my darkest times. I can now hold my head up and say I am free of him and free of a past I thought long dead. How many of us can truly say this and mean it? I may have started this journey as a purge of sorts, but it has become so much more to me. I've also come to the realization that even though I longed for absolution for so long, in which I thought I needed this man to say I was wrong, that I truly never needed it. I've grown so much in the writing of this book that even now I'm amazed at the strength I possess. I could feel myself letting go in the brief conversation I had with him, and no matter how much groveling and begging he did for me to forgive old hurts, it no longer mattered to me. While nothing he could say or do would possibly make up for the past, I realized none of it mattered to me anymore. And that is exactly where I left things once he and I were off the phone in the past. It was a bittersweet moment for me the moment I heard his voice on the other end of the line. My emotions were rolling through me like waves bashing against the shoreline. Everything came flooding back. The hurt, the pain, the sheer weight of the memories pounding down on me like a hurricane wind. It was the same for me a few years ago when I came face to face with another demon of mine, my mother. I looked down upon the woman that used to terrorize me and no longer saw the monster I built up in my head. Yes, all the pain and misery came flooding back, but it was in these moments I found my peace. It was in these moments I realized my monsters were no more. They were only human, the two people in my life that had changed the very fabric of who and what I am, the two people that I had been afraid of for so long, were reduced to nothing more than bullies with an attitude. These were the moments they lost their hold on me. These were the moments I was finally set free of a painful past and began to see only me in the shadows of darkness and not the demons from my past. It is an extremely scary feeling to finally feel a freedom that has eluded you for the entirety of your life. A peace in your soul that has never come. A moment of such clarity that it takes your breath away. In that moment you are basking in the peace, and in that moment you are basking in the peace. The voices in your head have finally fallen silent, and you are finally free of an anger that has had a hold on you for so long. You've grown used to the weight of it choking the life out of you like a snake squeezing you until those first bones break. You almost immediately feel the loss. 1 minute you are flying high, shouting to the heavens, I'm free, I'm free. And the next you're wondering, what now? There were days I survived on my anger, my pain, and my hate alone. I even felt that somewhere someone owed me something for all the pain and suffering I went through, and now it was just gone. Just as swiftly as the seasons changed, so had my pain. It no longer bogs me down, and that in and of itself is also a scary thing. It was my crutch when times were tough. Now that my crutch is gone, I have to wonder again, what now? However, one thing that has never changed throughout all the bullshit is this. My daughter is my everything. She will always hold a piece of my heart. She has had it since the day she was placed oh so gently into my arms. Since starting this journey, exposing my loss, my pain to the world, I realized no matter what gets thrown my way, no amount of curveballs by this man re-entering my life again and trying to cause trouble doesn't change that. It was and always will be about the choices I made for the health and well-being of my child. She still doesn't know the extent of the pain this man caused me so long ago, and I pray she never does. She doesn't even know to the extent of how much he stalked me recently until I finally gave in and spoke to him. I may be wrong, but I tried to leave enough of a clean slate so that even they may be able to start anew. Maybe a part of me is still naive, or maybe I am hoping beyond hope that one day he will wake up and realize what he has lost. Time. Time he can never get back, and as he is still ignoring his child, my hope is that he reads this and realizes the error of his ways. I hope this not for her sake, mind you, as I don't think he has still earned the right to be called father, but I hope for her. I hope this not for his sake, mind you, as I don't think he has still earned the right to be called father, but I hope for her. She deserves the right to know where she comes from, and as much as it pains me to see it, I agree with her and understand the need. I just hope and pray one day he will see it too. Today, I am 41, and for the first time in my life, I feel a peace I've never known. I feel a completeness I've never known before as I watch all three of my children interact. Tears threaten to fall as I sit back and observe this moment. Watching the three loves of my life speak to one another as if they had been doing it all their lives. It is a moment that is now imprinted into my heart and mind forever. I began this book as a purge, if you will. Along the way, I found pieces of myself I thought lost to me. I learned to let the past go and stop holding on to the sheer guilt I felt over my daughter, giving my daughter up for adoption 21 years ago. I originally ended the book when her father contacted me on Mother's Day. I felt that the book had come full circle, and after confronting him about the past, I felt a freedom I had never felt before. Yet today is a different story. Today is my birthday, and for the first time in my life, I have gotten exactly what I wanted for my birthday. My daughter and my two sons are together. There are no words to what I feel today. I've caught myself just sitting and watching the three of them, and I know this moment is mine and mine alone. Sheer joy courses through my veins as I realize how lucky I am. All the past pains, all the hurts of everything I've gone through have simply vanished in this moment. I am a mother made whole by the joining together of these three children, and I doubt even they will ever understand just how great this birthday gift really is. Every once in a while, I catch myself becoming breathless at the sight of them, talking, laughing, joking as if they had all known each other forever, when just a few short hours ago, they had never even met. Even some of their mannerisms are the same, and I just smile as this is all me. I find it ironic that in the time it has taken me to write this book, my past has indeed come full circle. In just the past few months, I was faced with her father, a man that after 21 years assumed we could just pick up where we left off, minus the daughter, of course. Looking at her now, I will never understand his reluctance to see her or even want any part of her. She is beautiful, she is smart, she is kind. She is the best version of me that I could have ever hoped for. She is the version of me I would like to think I would have been had I not been dealt such a shitty hand in the parent department. All I can say is in this moment, I don't care that her father isn't here to see how wonderful she turned out. I wouldn't want to share this moment with anyone. As we walk along, I feel a lightness in my heart that has never been there before. I feel so many emotions, and it is the best feeling in the world. I explained to her that just because I gave someone else the authority to raise her didn't mean I don't love her and consider her my daughter. She is, and always will be, the very first love of my life. No one will ever replace the love I have for her. My love for her is the thing I held on to in my darkest hours. It is the thing that brought me back from the brink of disaster so many times. It is the thing I will cherish until my last breath. The recent events brought my daughter and I a little closer, which is all I ever wanted. She is grown now and capable of making her own decisions, and I do hope that her father will come around. If not, I rejoice in the fact that over 21 years ago, I was faced with the hardest decision a mother could make. And even though it has been a long, rocky road for me, I now know it was still the right decision. With her very first breath, my daughter saved me. And while I couldn't raise her, she has never strayed far from my thoughts. Because of her, I strove to be braver, stronger, smarter. You may see me as just a birth mother, but she taught me that I am so much more. I am a fighter, a survivor, a warrior, and even though she took a little piece of me the day she was born, she has helped me find a whole other part of me I never knew. So thank you, Sarah, for being my daughter. Thank you for giving me the title only a select few are worthy of the name. I am simply Mother. So that was chapter 14. And now I'm going to read you guys the epilogue. No one ever plans to get pregnant right out of high school. In fact, I didn't plan on getting pregnant ever. The simple fact that I didn't get pregnant while still in high school was an achievement all on its own. I mean, my graduation video was more like a who's who of pregnant girls instead of an actual graduation ceremony. And if they weren't pregnant, it was because they already had one or two little ones at home. I was the odd man out. I hadn't even really had sex yet. I was terrified of becoming a statistic. I never even went out with guys. Not that my overbearing mother would have let me anyway, but still, I wanted to fall in love, to have that grandiose affair. I had dreams of a knight in shining armor, that one man that would take me in his arms and never let me go, that man that would forsake all others and profess his undying love for me while gazing longingly into my eyes. I would imagine him caressing my face as he leaned in for a kiss. I would breathe him in, and as my lashes fluttered closed, our lips would meet and fireworks would erupt. I had had a taste of this explosion the year before when I was 17 with a much older man. Though we were never truly intimate, he just perpetuated the myth that this could actually happen for me. The fantasy that there would be one man out there that could take me away from my misery, heal my broken heart, mend my shattered soul. I was just a dumb teenager with dramatized ideas of what a relationship was. You see, I wasn't looking for true love. I was looking for a rescuer. Someone to come into my life and make a difference. Someone that would be mine and I would be his forever. What I found, though, is exactly what I needed for me to wake up from my fantasy and get a good dose of reality. You know the saying, be careful what you wish for. It was never more true for me. Yes, I found hell, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I remember the day of my graduation as I watched each classmate walk across that stage, and I thought to myself, man, they are so lucky to have found someone. However, today I'm glad I wasn't a statistic after all. At least, not yet anyway. I look at these people now, the same people I thought I would do great things, that would do great things in life, the same people that had someone to hold them at night. These are the same people that have been stuck in the same life, in the same town after all these years. I wanted a great love to see the world, to be mesmerized by all it had to offer. I may have been naive, but at least I knew what I wanted. Yet none of these things happened. Life happened. The moment I left town, I was enraptured by this man. I felt a compulsion to be everything he needed me to be. He consumed me both body and soul. He was, for lack of a better word, my addiction. I would have done anything to make him happy. It was only much later that I realized there was no pleasing him. It took me years to realize that this was not my fault. He was simply miserable and wanted to spread the misery. I've since learned to protect myself, and I have found that one man that makes my heart go pitter-pat. Even though my past was chock full of drama, abuse, neglect, and even a near rape on one occasion, I don't regret it. I learned to love myself in the process and let others see the real me. I got to know what it is like to be with a real man in every sense of the word. A man that would walk through fire before his woman or child were hurt in any way. A man that comes from a hard day's work just so he can provide, comes home from a hard day's work just so he can provide for his family. A man that doesn't take for granted all that has been given to him. A man that loves with all of him and gets it all back in return. A man that puts family first. They are his priority, his life, his love. He is my everything other than my children, but I have learned the hard way to give with all of me without losing me. I have learned so much about myself, it is scary. However, most of what I have learned came from my daughter. The tenacity she shows, the bravery, the sheer courage, has inspired me to be all I can be as well. I continue to strive to be a mother she can be proud of. As for the adventures I wanted when I was younger, yes, I still want to venture in my life. Unlike that first one, I went on. For now, though, I am happy living my life with my family and watching as my children grow into something wonderful. I carry the scars of my past with me always. They are a reminder of a past never to be forgotten. I now wear them proudly. Without these scars, letting me know that I lived through something horrible, I would have never found my strength. Without those scars, I would never have realized I'm a survivor. As I quoted my friend earlier, that our scars are what shape us in our youth. While this is hauntingly beautiful, I must agree. Without those scars, I wouldn't be me. I wear them now like badges of honor, and I am no longer ashamed to wear them. It is at the time we bleed the most for those we love that we know in our hearts we can overcome. That is it. That is Memoirs of a Birth Mother. If you want your own copy, Amazon, Barnes& and Noble, I'll put the links below. I know I got a little teary-eyed and emotional. I was doing that last chapter. Um, Let me know what you guys think. If you want like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification button so you are alerted to any of my future videos. And I might read another book. I do have another one on Amazon. Let me know what you think. It's a fiction book. It's nothing like that. And I've got a couple more I'm working on. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you later. Bye.